How podcasting has changed in 2022. The latest from our daily newsletter at podnews.net. Spotify has published its 2022 Podcast Trends Report. The company says if 2021 was a story of content explosion, then 2022 is one of diversification. Spotify's megaphone saying that in France and Spain, podcast listening has gone up more than 4 times. The time spent listening via Spotify in car has more than doubled. Health and fitness is the fastest growing category on Spotify in 4 of the largest markets. And Chartable data suggests that true crime is the most effective genre for cross-promotion. In Australia, ARN's iHeart Podcast Network Australia claims the platform is outperforming the global conversion rate. Data from Podsights also shows that ad spend is up 54% year on year. Samsung has announced the 2022 Galaxy Store Awards. The Best Podcast Partner was announced as Acast, and Best Podcast went to Kurt Coe's all-star fiction podcast Solar. Sounds Profitable has published a full list of its popular deep dive features showing you under the hood of different podcast ad products. You can also watch Tom Webster presenting their safe and sound brand safety research of podcast listeners. Libsyn has announced a new user interface and integration of Libsyn Studio into its platform, something we reported at the end of November. The press release that we linked to today also contains a code to try Libsyn free if you want to. And the Apple Podcasts social post generator has been updated to support more than just English. The tool now deals with 13 new languages and regions. In People News, Dave Jackson has been promoted to Head of Education at Libsyn, a podcast Hall of Famer. He's worked for the company since 2016 and has a background as a trainer. Liz Hames has joined Jar Audio as Director of Podcast Marketing. She comes from Pacific Content and CBC. Tori Weldon is a new Senior Producer at Jar Audio. She also joins from Pacific Content and CBC. And BJ Forsyth, a Libsyn developer, was killed in a road accident last weekend. A GoFundMe has been set up for his family, which we linked to today. He was 46. And in podcast news, The News Agents, the daily news podcast from Global, has exceeded 10 million downloads since launching 3 months ago. The show is hosted by Captivate and produced by Persephonica. Fluently Forward has exclusively signed with Cake Media. The series, hosted by Shannon McNamara, offers both a critical and humorous take on celebrity gossip, Hollywood conspiracy theories, and trending news. Random Order Podcast has joined the HeadGum Comedy Podcast Network. They say we're excited to align with other prolific comedians on the network to expand our roster of guests and topics and reach a diverse new listener base. And the economics podcast Bubble Trouble has Cory Doctorow as a guest for the next 2 episodes. He's a special advisor for EFF. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.